Fliss here, one of the Manuka Essentials fam, and I thought today I'd bring you a little bit of peace and self-care and relaxation. I have started getting more into my yoga practice at home myself, and it's just something that I would like to share with you to kind of help you maybe unwind first thing in the morning if you've woken up with a busy mind, or help you unwind come the end of the day after you've been rushing around with kids. Sometimes we just don't give ourselves enough self-love, care, time to reflect, time to give ourselves affection. So this one is for everybody who just needs a little bit of hugging in their lives, you know, like how often do we actually hug ourselves and like squeeze ourselves and just breathe into that feeling of wrapping our arms around ourselves. I personally don't do it enough. Sometimes I do, and when I do, it really does feed me the nourishment that I need to find within myself. So this is just going to be a very, very simple routine today. It's not going to be strenuous, it's not going to be a long time either. So if you'd like to come on this journey with me, I invite you to come take a nice comfortable seated position. Some of you may find sitting cross-legged is a comfortable position for you. Some may find it a bit more easier to have their legs out straight, particularly if you've got some knee injuries and you don't want to go putting it much pressure on those knees, so be careful of that. If you are wanting to sit in a seated position with your legs crossed, you can always actually take, if you don't have like little blocks at home, you can always take pillows, so you can put one pillow one side of your knees and a pillow the other side of your knees, so you're basically giving yourself support on both sides. So what I'd like you to do to begin with is to just get yourself comfortable in whatever seated position you may find is best for you. And I want you to start tuning in with your breath at your own pace. It doesn't have to be on any counting terms or anything, but just find your rhythm in this moment. Beautiful. And we're going to start by first of all just grounding ourselves, and that is really kind of rooting our sitting bone to the ground. So, you know, making sure that our cheekbones are apart, our juicy bottoms are nice and firm on the floor, and just fit into that grounding sense. And we're going to imagine as if a string, as if we're a puppet. So imagine you've got a very fine, gentle string at the top of your head that's just lifting your spine up a little bit more. So really reaching up through the crown of your head up nice and straight. You want to start kind of rolling your shoulders back now. And give that a few times, and when you're ready, we're going to be rolling those shoulders forward. Lush. How good does that feel? And just now place your hands. It depends on whether you wanted to ground yourself. So if you wanted to ground yourself today, you can place your hands facing down. If you're wanting to be a bit more open to what the day has to offer or what your sleep has to offer you, then you can sit here with your hands and your palms facing up. We're going to roll our shoulders back and let them really kind of relax down into the seated position that we're in. And again, just taking in those breaths that we need to take in. And like I said, this is not a rush practice. It's going to be a very short and easy one for you. And I hope that I can bring you some sort of sense of just stillness. It's something that I'm certainly needing right now. Giving ourselves time to think. But not necessarily just think and make our brains busy, but actually just think about stopping and sort of taking in where we've got to thus far. So sitting here in a nice comfortable seated position, maybe with your knees supported, maybe not. Those that are more advanced may actually have their feet up into the crease of their knees, and that's absolutely acceptable as well, because we're all at different stages of our yoga practice. Whether you're an absolute beginner and this is the first time you're watching anything to do with yoga, or somebody who's a much more of a professional than what I am, either way I hope you know, it brings you a little bit of a good sort of lightness to your day. Okay, so we're going to be just taking this time now to really just sit up nice and straight, as what I was going back to previously, and we're going to be reaching our left hand up and just over towards our right. Nothing too strenuous, don't go pushing anything, but it's just going to start opening up your left side of your body, under your armpit and up through your arm, whilst you have your right hand placed onto your knee, nice and relaxed. And on an exhale, we're going to bring that arm back down and place that onto our left knee. And on an inhale, we're going to rise our right hand and up over towards our left. Take a few breaths here as you're opening up that right side of your body. You may wish to be doing this with your eyes closed, and that's absolutely fine as well. Just get into your own groove, your own rhythm. And then on an exhale, we're going to be bringing that right hand down and placing it back on our knee. Beautiful. So we're going to start going through a little bit of a flow at the moment in time. So this may involve you removing the cushions from either side of you if you feel like you can. Maybe even kind of placing your feet in a little bit more of a different position to what they were just a minute ago. And making sure we're spreading those juicy bum cheeks of yours so we're planted nice and firmly on the ground. And so when I think about breathing in and breathing out with movements when it comes to yoga, I remember when I first started, I used to get confused about when am I meant to breathe in and then when am I meant to breathe out. It doesn't make sense. I'm losing track of my breath and I'm trying to do that with the movement. It's just confusing me. But over a period of time, what I ended up finding out was any time, for me, this is personally, I was finding that I noticed a pattern that any time we was lifting our body up in one way or another, it was an inhale. So we're breathing in all that goodness, and any movements that are going down, we're exhaling. So we're breathing out anything that we're wishing to kind of exert and put into the ground beneath us. So it might just help you on this practice to kind of take that on board and incorporate that into your mindset. So we're kind of going to be, first of all, placing our right hand just to the side of our right hip, not too far away, not too close where you're still sitting up straight, but just around about a hand away from your hip. And on our inhale, we're going to be lifting our left hand up and over. And exhaling, we're going to be placing our left hand onto the other side of our left hip and bringing our right hand up and over. And on an exhale, we're coming back over to our right hand side and our left hand's coming up and over. For our exhale, we're coming back onto the other side. So take another few more rounds of this. This is just going to be a really nice slow release for you. So we're inhaling, coming up and over, and exhaling over and down. Inhaling up and over, and exhaling over and down. Beautiful. Oh, how good does that stretch feel on either side of your outer body when you're lifting up and you're opening up your rib cage to the beautiful sky above us, whether we're indoors or outdoors, it doesn't matter. Lovely, okay. And coming back to a nice neutral position again. And hands on our knees, and we're going to do a little bit of a version of a cat-cow, but this is a sitting up version. So for those of you who don't know what cat-cow is, that's something that I can show you a little bit further on in the video, but this will just be explaining the seated version. So with our palms facing down on our knees, on an inhale we're going to be bringing our chest forward, looking up and slightly arching our shoulder blades. And on an exhale we're going to be pushing our body away from our knees, curling that spine around, and our chin's coming towards our chest. And on an inhale, pulling our chest forward, lifting our head up. And on an exhale, pushing away from our knees, curling our spine, chin to our chest. And repeating a few more times. On your inhale, lifting up. And on your exhaling, pushing away and curling around. A few more times here. Inhaling, lifting up, bringing that forward. And exhaling, pushing away from ourselves, curling around, chin to our chest. And inhaling, coming up. And we're going to pause here and just really reap in all that sun that we're imagining is above us, bringing that and breathing that in, and exhaling back to a neutral position, straight spine. Beautiful. So here you may wish to just take a few movements of your own, so just swirling around, going back around the other way, making a figure of 8 with your elbows maybe. Whatever kind of suits you best. It may be that you wanted to kind of shrug your shoulders a little bit, loosen them up, shake your arms, shake your hands. Or it may be that you just want to sit still. It's entirely up to you. Let this practice be as much as my practice as it is yours, so let your practice kind of bring whatever it needs to you. Alright, so again, another seated position, and you may still be with your legs straight out for you. That is just the same. Doing this, you're still reaping the same benefits if you've still got your legs straight, so that's absolutely fine. You can keep them straight for this one as well. Okay, so still with our hands on our knees here, we're going to be just circulating our body, coming around and then back away from ourselves. So you'll notice that my body will be coming all the way forward and then as far back as I can go. I never come back to the neutral position, so I'm just going to face this way now and just show this to you so you'll start understanding and seeing the rhythm that I'm going in. Lovely. So we're going to get into that groove now. So we're going to be in a neutral position, and first of all we're going to be bringing our body around to our left, coming forwards, and then pushing away, coming back. So as we're coming forward, we're exhaling, and as we're coming up, we're inhaling. So exhale, inhale, inhale, exhale. Ooh, okay, and now we're going to go back the other way. So now that we're going to be coming towards our right hand side to begin with, so towards our right knee, coming forwards. Exhaling, coming back and up, inhaling, and taking a few more of these in your own pace towards your own breath. I don't want you getting too much caught up in sort of how often I'm breathing, because my breathing pattern is going to be completely different to yours. So it might be that some of you go really, really slow and you take your time. Or it's going to be like you're quite speedy and you're really into the groove and you're really liking this, so you're going to move faster. So whichever way that you want to go about it, that's entirely up to you. Okay, beautiful. So now that we started to warm up our spine, we're going to now move towards our cat-cow, which is what I previously mentioned to you. So coming onto all your fours, we're going to start off really making sure our knees are in line to our hips and our hands are in line to our shoulders. We're going to make sure that spine is nice and neutral, so nice and flat. And we're not going to be looking up like this because we can cause damage to our neck or injury, and we're not going to be looking down like this just yet. So nice and neutral. So we're going to also, you can have your toes tucked if you wish to. This can help prevent knee injury, so if you have got any dodgy knees like myself, I highly recommend you tucking your toes. It's going to help support your balance as well. But for those, some of you may just literally feel that having your feet flat on the floor is actually better for you. So again, take this as it needs to for you. Like I said, I'm going to have my toes tucked under. So for our cat-cow, what we're going to do is we're going to be inhaling, and as we inhale, we're lifting our chest up and forward, arching our spine with our bum sticking up a little bit, and on our exhale we are going to be exhaling, pushing the earth away from us through our hands, arching our back around and up towards the sky, and we're going to be chucking our chin towards our chest. And repeat again, we're going to be inhaling, lifting up, and exhaling, curving that spine, looking down towards our chest, and inhaling, coming back up. Beautiful. Yes, you've got it. You've got it. And exhaling, pushing the ground away from you. So when you're exhaling and you're pushing that ground away from you, really do lift up your shoulder blades towards the sky. You're going to be sucking in your stomach. That's going to be coming towards your spine. And then as you're inhaling, coming back up, you're going to be arching your tailbone up. You're going to be looking up towards the sky. And once you've done a few more rounds of this, we're going to come back to a nice neutral tabletop. So still making sure your knees are in alignment with your hips and your hands still in alignment with your shoulders. You are going to be lifting your bum up towards the ceiling, and this is a pose that we call downward dog, pushing our hips up and away from us, keeping our hands where they are. We may need to move our legs, our feet a little bit more backwards. We may need to make them parted a little bit more, whatever's going to be easiest for you. So you're going to need to just be bending your legs, so bending your knees to the degree that you need to enable your spine to be nice and straight from your hands right up to your buttocks. So a nice long straight back, and it is absolutely okay that you've got bent knees in this position. You're going to want to start padding out those feet for yourself. This is just going to release a little bit of tension and give you a little bit more room to stretch down. Don't go too far. You don't want to cause any injuries with this. Okay. And on your next inhale, we're literally going to be bringing those knees down to the floor. Alright, so we're going to cross your legs, so cross your feet, and we're going to be sitting our ourselves back and bringing our legs out nice and straight in front of us. Whew. Now that you've got your legs in front of you, you may wish to take a bolster. So if you don't have a bolster, you can use your good old famous bed pillow. We're going to come to the end of our yoga session, something just really nice and relaxing now that we've warmed up our spine and given ourselves a little bit of a stretch, nothing too strenuous. So place your bolster. For some of you who are maybe on the more flexible side, you may not wish to take a bolster, so whatever way is best for you, you do you. So for me, I know that I definitely need a bolster or a pillow in front of me. You're now going to literally just be bringing that spine up nice and straight, a bit like what I said to you to begin with at the very beginning of this. You're going to be really thinking that you've got a little puppet string on your top of your crown, and it's pulling you up so your back's nice and tall. Now, with the forward fold that we're about to do, I would like you to think about actually folding forward from the lower part of your spine and down, not curving your spine at all. You don't want to be rounding your spine too much. This is more about elongation rather than curling. So if you can actually only reach slightly forward, so as per this, if you can only reach slightly forward and your back slightly at an angle, that is much more better than slouching your back across you, okay? So just bear in mind keeping that back nice, tall, long and straight and elongated. Inhaling, lifting your hands up, and then just bringing those hands forward to a nice symmetrical position to your legs. You may just wish to slightly reach forward at this point, and over the next sort of minute or two, that's how we're going to be getting into our forward fold, and eventually the top of your spine will slightly curve, but not too dramatically, okay? So as we're inhaling, we're lifting and elongating ourselves up. Every time we're exhaling, we're going to just gently be reaching forward. So it's over a period of time, it's very gradual, it's anything too strenuous, too strong. Over a period of time, every time you're exhaling, you're just shifting your body forward, and you'll start seeing that my back is just gently now wanting to slightly round off on the top part of my back, but yet I'm keeping the base of my spine as straight as I possibly can. So as I get to a nice comfortable position, I'm then literally just going to start relaxing into this position. So some of you may even require actually to have 2 bolsters or 2 pillows as well. This is just exactly the same. It's not a competition. You're not wanting to necessarily get your body flat to the top of your legs. You do not want to cause any injuries along your journey when it comes to yoga, or anything for that matter. Even like running half a marathon, don't push yourself. It's all about in your own time and being kind to yourself. And I'm just going to give us just a minute to just rest into this pose. Inhaling and exhaling at your own pace. You don't have to be anywhere right now other than being present with where you are and just giving yourself an internal hug. Just don't wrap those hands around your shoulders just yet. That's to kind of the very end of this. But just really kind of making the inner body starting to feel warm, to feel loved, to feel worthy of this precious time and these minutes that you've given yourself to just stop. And I thank you all very much for watching this, and if you've got to this point, so much gratitude to you, because you know, it's a lot to take on board with everything around us, to just sit and be still. So I really appreciate your time listening to what I have to share today for you. So another 30 seconds of just resting here nice and quietly. And when you're ready, just gently bring yourself up to a neutral spine position. And we're going to remove those props for you now. And gently coming onto your back. And bringing your legs so your feet mat width apart, knees together. And you're going to start windscreen wiping those knees from side to side, just releasing a little bit of that lower back that you've just smoothed out with the forward fold. And bringing your feet towards each other and lifting your knees up, pulling them gently towards your chest. You're going to start making your knees go into a circle position, going from your right to your left, or maybe to your left to your right, whichever direction you've chosen. And after a few rounds of this, I want you to start now just going the opposite way, massaging that lower spine out for you. If you are still tuned in, and if you do have any furry friends with you walking around, then just pat them, stroke them, make them feel loved too. So you're just giving yourself a bit of love. This one here, this is Meg. We call her Megatron, and she generally likes to sit in my lap. So anyway, yes, to end this practice, I am going to be wanting you all to just give yourself a massive hug. And thanking yourself for taking this time out. I know it's been half an hour. I wasn't expecting it to be half an hour, but it just led to it. So whichever way you feel comfortable, you can bring your right hand on the top of your left shoulder, or opposite, whatever's going to be best for you. Just one way of just wrapping your arms around and putting your hands on the back of your shoulders, and you're going to just give yourself a nice big squeeze with a beautiful cat wandering around me. And just give yourself a big squeeze. Close those eyes down. Give yourself this amazing, beautiful, deep hug, and just tell yourself, I love you. I truly love you. Thank you for giving myself this time to practice a wincy bit of yoga. And you might get nudged by a cat or a dog that's around you, or you might not. You might be enjoying a bit of peace and quiet, maybe from children. And you can now literally, if you wish to, just to take 5 minutes to lie down on your mat, maybe place a pillow underneath your knees to support them. Let your feet just naturally fall away from one another. Don't force your body into anything it doesn't want to do for the time being. With that being said, I will now continue with my day that I need to crack off with. But I just wanted to really take this opportunity while I felt internally and intuitively it was the right time to do this. So thank you, so much love, so much gratitude to all of you, and namaste.